pieces of artwork are really interesting for what they show us about the diversity of the black experience and black presence in Britain. We're trying to find out more and more about the sitters, and this is quite a difficult thing because unlike the artists who became famous, often the sitters didn't leave much trace of their experiences behind unless they became quite notable sort of famous artist models. So really we've got to try and find evidence of who the sitters were through the archival collections of the artists, through tracing of the artists' relatives, and also through looking at clues within the pieces of artwork.
We're kicking off in 1919 because that's the year that's seemed to begin the Harlem Renaissance, which was a time when African Americans in Harlem, in New York, were beginning to take what's seen as a cultural revolution, a cultural renaissance in New York. It was political, but it was also about jazz, about music, about art. But it wasn't just in New York, it obviously had an impact throughout the United States, but also in Europe. And of course people have looked at the influence of jazz in London, but what we're hoping to look at is specifically at artists, partly because that might represent more ordinary people.
One of the pieces which we're interested in is An Two-Seated Man from 1934. It's a representation of an ordinary man portrayed in a relaxed style, as opposed to some of the other images we often find of representing African and Asian people, where they might be exoticised and racialised with various props and the type of clothing which people are made to appear in. Here we are on Fitzroy Street, which during the interwar period was the home to various artist studios. Many of the portraits of black sitters that we're exploring would have been created in this street. We can see there was a small but significant black presence in Bloomsbury at the time, and this was mainly because of the location of the universities, but also you can see a black presence in terms of theatre, singers, musicians making their headquarters here, as well as writers, political activists. One of the reasons why some black people didn't stay here is because there was a well-recognised issue of racism within the area, and there was a colour bar where many black people found that they couldn't find accommodation and they were turned away. We have black communities throughout London in different locations, including most prominently the East End of London, who were historically employed in the shipping industry. And there was extreme racism within the shipping industry, culminating in the 1919 riots, which occurred in 9 port towns across the country. And London was one of the ports that was hit by these anti-black riots. We're thinking that one of the reasons why some of the sitters might have worked with the artists was due to trying to find bits of employment to fill the gap of their income.
These might have been people who were dockers who are looking for some work to keep them going if they can't get any dock work or ship work, or women who are working as domestic servants that are also working as artists. They're not exotic models, however they might be portrayed in those images, they're ordinary people.